Welcome to a special morning edition, 10:18 p.m. EST, Montreal, Hawk Island time for the week. Gonna go a little bit of rock and roll, rant, quick burst, quick rant, quick, some coffee. Pumpkin spice coffee. It is December 1st, greater feast for PPP, Pop's prophet, poet, greatest, a giant of the English language, and great writer, mountaineer, and in many ways, a mystic like myself, androgynous pansexual artist, athlete, philosopher, independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, theorist, and strategist. 1st of December, December 1st, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, train, exercising has been, isn't, will be my medicine and therapy of choice. Let's sip a little bit of this coffee, do a little bit of rock and roll. Always on the rock and the road, for the truckers and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses, grocery store clerks. Times ain't easy, gotta get that labor strikes. I ain't got no money for the studio, no for the guitar. I just sing up in the scars, sing up in the light, the stars. That's just freestyle. I create songs, freestyle, rock and roll daily. I create rock and roll bilingual, French, English, English, French. Here in Quebec, Montreal, like Celine Dion, Double Trouble, Rainbow Dragon, and I create songs, I write songs, I compose them, I freestyle them, I just rock and roll, sports and fitness, dancing being my favorite sport, and geopolitics 24/7. I'm gonna go get send some emails and do some analysis on the geopolitical events, and I gotta go get afterwards, pay my rent. I'm doing laundry now. I gotta be grateful, thankful for the laundry machine, the washer and the dryer. The washer and the dryer decided to give a little bit of extra for the washer and the dryer to my anonymous friend because I think I might have caused some damage. It still works, but it makes a little bit of more noise than before, starting about 7 weeks ago. So just have to be careful not to put in the some more thicker ones like the blankets with the thicker hoodies, for example. So I noticed that makes a difference when you put it in the machine. So because my only stress now is financial, economic, and I'm always open for business, for work, and I had many jobs myself. As problem is with Asperger's, having this neurological mental divergent condition known as HFA, high functioning autism. It has been a more difficult journey to maintain long-term employment. So long-term employment has been more difficult. As you know, my community Aspies are standing at about 80% unemployed, right? Sometimes even more, sometimes 85. Imagine out of that, 4 out of 5, that is a very statistically, the number is just horrible. Considering that we are less than 1% out of the population, we're less than 1%, right? So, of the population of North America, less than 1% estimations that people have Asperger's, also known as HFA, which I have been told for since about 2015, 2016, but for many years I refused it, and until about 3.5 years ago, 3.5 years ago during COVID, I accepted it, and I started learning more about it and integrating it to build bridges with the 99% neurotypicals, and it's a constant dynamic. It's a dynamic evolutionary process of fully understanding and grasping, and then building the bridges in consequence thereof. I gotta try to get myself a cell phone because I don't have a smartphone. It's been a month. I don't have a phone a month, so I've been doing some work via emails and continuing to do works on the daily. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and I've been, of course, keeping to my regular routine. I still go to the mountain. It's just I didn't film the long videos. You must see the last long marching dance video that you see is from October 30th when it was raining and it caused some damage to my smartphone, my work too. So now next time I gotta be careful not to film when it's raining, and stuff like that. Unless some volunteers come and you film me in going, even if it's a snowstorm, rainstorm, whatever type of storm, lightning, thunder. I still go to my second home, Mount Royal, here on the island of the Hawk HAWK, and last Monday I was sick. I'm feeling much better now. I had a few days, about 3.5 days, that were more hardcore, and now I still have spitting a little bit, coughing a little bit, and still healing a little bit, I guess, on my 7th day. And gotta begin with that coffee. Gotta salute the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the truckers, the electricians, the plumbers, Hydro Quebec workers, the public workers, please, NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA give some tickets, reduce some tickets for the holidays, give to the public workers of the North American Collective, and they pick up the recycling earlier, and later is going to be the garbage. So all those things, it's got to be considered of the public collective, that we are individuals and we have these privileges, what I call the privilege of civilization in 2023, in January, February. Have it online, you can check it out for yourself. My Coffee with Dragon sessions. I discuss the privilege of civilization. That was my thesis to the world, and it's called the privilege of civilization. And I presented basically with some details, some not, some more artistic Aspiesque, artistic linguistics and communication styles, which sometimes might be a bit harder to grasp for some, less for others than for some. It all depends. There's variables, of course, but nonetheless, here I am on the 1st of December. Greater feast. I want a greater feast as well. If you don't know what that is the mystic spirituality. I'm a spiritual mystic. I believe in reincarnation. Sometimes I was born a man, a woman in past lives, a woman, a man, and you get that 50-50 now, Adrian Hanna Dragon. For the Dragon Army, calling all to pledge your legions, or from now on, friends with benefits, December 1st, 2025. I don't have many friends actually, but friends with benefits. I don't want to waste anybody's time. You're a man, you're a woman, you're black, you're white, you're rainbow, white, black, or rainbow, Friends with benefits, that's it, that's all. Don't waste my time, I won't waste yours here on the island of the Hawk, H-A-W-K, on Montreal, and the North American Collective, always for the 10, the 50, and the 3, the 63. For our empire, let it rise and let it be. For the truckers, the butchers, the bakers, those daycare workers changing diapers. And we gotta say, they gotta get dirty, get back clean. That I gotta see. Rock and roll up in the roads. Butchers baking on the toes. Has a nice butchers baking on the toes. Rock and roll. The truckers on the road. Yeah, I compose rock and roll 24/7. Nobody knows, but I'm the Prince of rock and roll, man. 2025, ending December, Prince of rock and roll. Nobody knows, and I don't have a contract, I don't have anything, but I'm good at creating the songs. Rock and roll songs, creating them, and creating the songs, the lyrics. The lyrics are not necessarily with the voice, is not the magnificent thunder lightning voice of the best of the best of the best rockers, but I managed in terms of writing rock and roll songs and creating the lyrical content and the rhythm. I'm the best among the best. But here I am financially stressed, and that's what I take pride in. And my fitness, my defense theories for the North American Collective is not just as an artist, an athlete, but an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, theorist, philosopher, and strategist. I develop my strategies for the North American Collective. That is one of my special interests, parallel with rock and roll and sports and fitness. It's geopolitics 24/7 for years and years and years. You can check hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of my videos from the past, You can see some of them when I was working out. I lost between 80 and 93 pounds right here in this room off St. Temple. I died during COVID. It's been 6 years since I predicted the current international geopolitical situation in 2019. I have proof because I created consequently a workout training program system back then to go with such a scenario as the aforementioned. So I also have proof for what I just said a priori now, so that is just something that I have to live with. Consequently, the fact that I predicted in a general manner, overall manner, the current present geopolitical climate and the geopolitical situation, and based on more intellectual academic factor of geopolitical analysis, but generally, of course, to make a statement, and a common denominator, a great factor thereof was the fact that many unresolved conflicts from the 20th century, specifically from the Cold War period, were not fully resolved, and thus I predicted that they're going to be restarting. And if you look at many conflicts around the world, that's basically exactly what is happening now. And another worrisome development, of course, consequently, it's Japan and China now, the deterioration of relations since about 22 days ago, I believe it started, more or less a few days. But of course they had some tit-for-tat exchange in terms of the words employed vis-a-vis Taiwan, which is known as the ROC, that Japan's prime minister declared that there will be an intervention, military intervention, and the diplomatic crises escalated thereof. The diplomatic crises escalated thereof. So now we have another diplomatic crisis on the horizon, the Japan-China ordeal, and of course this can be escalating any moment and any minute, any day, because three things never sleep: money 24/7. There's always different currencies. Forex is the biggest market, and there's always buying and selling across the world. The sun never sleeps. The sun always sets and always rises every minute. Every minute there's a sunrise somewhere in the world. And of course geopolitics, there's always geopolitical events unfolding across the world, whether in the east or in the west, in Asia or in Europe or in Africa, of course, due to the time zone. So this is something which also never sleeps. Three things never sleep. And somebody whispered a fourth one. I'll let you guess what is the fourth one. Somebody whispered a fourth one. I have to say yes, but I'm going to let you guess. Plus a fourth dimension to that trinity of things that never sleep. Money never sleeps, the sun never sleeps, and geopolitics never sleeps. But there's a fourth one. So that is, I'll let you guess on that one, but nonetheless, calling for the implementation of my trinity of theories, of course, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the DRT, Natural Fusion Theory, the DFT, Democratic Fusion Theory, and of course, via love, that fourth dimension, of course, to get the appellation to see what we have, of course, the consequential Imperial Republic to be created by fusing Canada and the United States into the Imperial Complex and create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the Imperial Security Service and Defense Force, the Dragon Army, with the Imperial Integrated Dancing, the Dancing Goddess League, of course, to be consequently implemented. Now I'm gonna go show some love to my washer and dryer. I'm gonna go show some love to my washer and dryer. Encourage you all to work out, train, exercise, pledge your allegiance to our family. You know how we rock and roll 24/7, but just make us love you.